But residential, not anywhere haunted before.
Well, you're going to see lots of it tonight. Okay. So the first thing we're going to use is a thermal imaging camera.
Oh, wow.
So you guys can see me in there. I'm orange, red, and yellow. Okay, so everything around me, let me step back just a hair. You can see everything around me is blue and black.
Yeah.
It's going to fluctuate based on whatever's inside the screen. So if you take me out of it, the trees above me are now orange, red, and yellow. So what we're looking for on this guy, and it's recording this entire thing for you, so you're going to get the video back.
Okay.
And any of, let's say we got this big open blue spot right here. Obviously that's my hand because the camera's right here. Let's say something grows darker blue or black and then starts to move, we obviously have some type of apparition. So you're going to be carrying that all night long, just like that. Now, you see the red dot on there, the red square? If it turns to a circle, then you need to hit it again and let me know, and I'll have to splice your videos together.
Okay.
So that way you have one long video. I'm going to show you a quick gist of what one looks like, just because it's the two of you here. I caught this just a few weeks ago. Super awesome. And I'll show you exactly where the spot is along the tour where we caught it. As soon as I get to it. Sorry, I posted it on Facebook, so it's easy to find. So Stories in a Cemetery obviously has a Facebook page. Come on.
You're going to carry my water?
I'm going to have to carry your water?
Yes, ma'am.
Good, thank you. I needed some.
There we go. Alright, so I did put a point of reference in here if it wants to start. Come on. There we go. Okay, so there's a point of reference in here. I clipped it. You're going to see two people walking past that wall right there. Do you see them?
Yeah, I see them.
Okay, so those people are alive because they're orange, red, and yellow. Along that same wall, you're going to see two figures, two black heads come walking by. One, two.
Yeah, I saw it.
So that's really what we're looking for. We're looking for those blacker shadows. Black is the coldest area on your screen. So the dark blues and blacks, that's what we want to see moving. That was a great point of reference because I had two people going and then two people coming out. So that was really cool to use. Alright, so we also want to use a spirit box, just so you guys have a recording of this. Are you familiar with spirit boxes?
Does it make...
The big staticky noise?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this one's a little different. I have it slowed down a little bit. So it's basically going to flip through all the radio stations, and you're going to be listening for those DJs and that radio chatter to kind of come through. Something that comes through could be a message. We're going to keep it at just an audible level. We're not going to go super loud with it because you are going to be able to control the volume. The cool thing about this one is that it records the entire radio suite for us. So when it does that, it doesn't record any outside noise. So it's literally going to be
No car.
Oh.
So it's going to flip through those radio stations. I'm going to keep it down a little bit. There's a little mark right there that says SD. That means that it's recording. Obviously, we want to keep the recording going through the entire time. So even when I turn it down to mute, it is still recording for us at a nice, even level. So I can tell you the stories and not have to scream over it.
Gotcha.
There's a little volume button up here. You control the volume. So that's going to be on you.
All right, spirit box.
Now I'm going to get the EMF out and I'll keep it just kind of in one of these pockets so that way I'm not tying up all your hands. I'm going to explain how this works because it's kind of our first indication that something is actually happening. So it measures 3 different types of electromagnetic fields. So you guys watch the ghost hunting shows? Okay, so they use this all the time. It's the same model, but it's really, really sensitive because it measures all 3 different types of electromagnetic fields. The first one is natural from the earth. That's why it comes on as green. It's not going to really do anything.
It's glowing over there.
He's working and he's probably eating his lunch at this point. They're reconstructing this barn.
Okay.
The second one is going to be from any type of electronic device or man-made object like wiring and parking meters. It's going to give it a pulse. Okay, we don't want the pulse either. We want it to go a little crazy and nuts. So we want that erraticism. So we want to not be able to see a pattern in it, and hopefully we have something going on with your other devices.
Something solid.
No.
No, not solid.
Solid would mean man-made objects. So that to me is a rhythm because it's just steady. So if it comes up to, let's say the next, let me use my phone as an example because that gives off a pulse for a signal, right? So.
Oh, I see. I don't want steady.
So when I turn it, do you see how it's going for a pulse?
Yeah.
I mean, we can kind of make a rhythm out of that. It's a little bit of orange and then blurs up to red and then goes back down to green. There's a rhythm there. We don't want that rhythm.
Okay.
We really want it to just kind of go crazy.
Gotcha.
Sweet.
Do you see how I'm like making it go nuts?
Yeah.
You know, just going in and out of it. Right.
I didn't do it.
So I'm going to keep this guy handy. We'll probably keep it flashed out this way. Let me see if I got a pocket that's free. just so that we can kind of keep an eye on that guy.
Okay.
Perfect.
Good.
All right, so I'm going to use a few things on my phone because you're going to get these recordings as well. Zip that up here in a second. I'm going to use 2 different types of spirit boxes on my phone. So the first one is going to give us words randomly in the center of the screen, and then it's going to save them into a list. This is the last tour's list. They had 71 terms.
Oh, wow.
We're going to clear them out because I already saved it so that they can have it tomorrow morning. And then you guys are going to start off clean.
Yeah.
So 80% of this is absolute bullshit. It doesn't mean a damn thing. It's meant to be a game and a hoax. But, oh, look at that, I'm getting waves. So I will always try to connect something to it live in the moment, but again, unless I can give you a verifiable link to show you where I got the evidence of the location of where we're at, so forth and so on. If it came up with the name John standing right here, that would make sense because we're at Big John's Tavern, or the old Big John's Tavern. So just to kind of give you the clues of how I'm going to look at this.
Yeah.
So that'll stay open all night, and I also use a reverse spirit box. This is the other reason why I record everything, because this does not record. So how this thing works is it's literally a man and a woman saying words, and then they looped it backwards.
Oh.
So, sorry, that was another booking coming through for later in the week, because it's obviously not tonight. But it's literally looped backwards. I've tested it for over an hour. There's no, they're just constant words. I don't know how long the loop is, but I will play something. I'm going to play this for you first so you can get the gist of what it sounds like. It's going to be gibberish. So when something comes through forward, we obviously know we have an intelligent answer.
I see.
So obviously some gibberish,
Oh,
right?
wow. Yeah.
So let me play an EVP I got not last week, it's about 2-3 weeks ago now. Let me find it. There it is. So this came through that reverse spirit box. Baked beans breakfast.
Baked beans breakfast.
Baked beans breakfast. So you guys obviously heard what it was.
Baked beans breakfast.
Baked beans breakfast. So here's what happened. That spirit box told me, I'll fix you. Baked beans breakfast came up. And then the word tea showed up on the list. All within 2.5 minutes of each other. So the next morning, I'm looking at the data as a collective. I'll fix you baked beans breakfast and tea. That would have been an English breakfast back in the 1700s. Which is, I was talking about a woman from England in the 1700s.
Oh, wow.
So that's the kind of
That's
things,
how it works.
it's putting all of the clues together. Now, your TV shows will often say, let's try this one device and see how it works. No, I'm the guy that throws everything at it. We'll have several spirit boxes running. We have 3 running right now. We'll listen for EVPs on the recordings, and that also records our audio as well. So, but we're going to be together all night. We're not going to separate. Normally when I have a large group of 10, a lot of times I'll separate so I can use my spirit box alone, and because I have another one that goes out too. So that way we have 4 spirit boxes, some lasers going, all kinds of things. And you should also know, I keep my tours limited to 10 people. They just lifted our COVID restrictions to go back up to 20, and I won't do it. Just because
Don't lose your
It's a lot of equipment.
it won't.
Or a lot of
It
data.
slides up and down all night.
Okay.
Now, well, not only that, but it doesn't make for a very personal tour, does it?
Yeah.
So if you're going out on you guys have been on ghost tours. Is it hard to hear that tour guide?
Yeah.
So even if there was 10 of you here, this is the same tone you're going to get because I'm going to talk to the group as a whole, and then it's literally going to be a one-on-one throughout the entire tour, unless I'm telling you one of the stories.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. It's your responsibility to hear. You want to hear, you get to where you can hear.
well, not only that, but I need good reviews.
Yeah.
Let's face it.
Like, I
mean,
couldn't hear anything he was saying.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you guys read my reviews. It's probably why you booked this.
Yeah,
So-
he was talking to that little blonde girl the whole time.
And then my wife reads it, and I get in trouble.
Yeah.
That'd be hilarious. That would not be funny.
Buckle this real quick. Maybe we can fit
Hey, you
it in
see,
the
lay it
front.
on the ground right there. There's something glowing.
It's like a
Looks like a little
reflection,
flashlight.
like a bottle or something.
Yeah.
We can go check it out.
All right, so let me get my phone
Oh,
out.
do you have like one of those cameras where you'd like if someone touched a wall and then it would be a red handprint or something? It's a can,
Yeah, it's just a can.
a beer can.
Okay, we're going this way anyway. Look at you. You guys are on top of it.
Good for me.
Wait, it's a good. Us.
Is it gonna bother you guys if I vape since it's just the two
Oh,
of
no.
you?
No.
She smokes.
Yeah, smoke. Don't bother me.
No, that's another reason. See, like I'll separate myself and I can take a few hits off the vape.
Nope.
Separate it from everybody.
I'm not
Is there a particular reason why you come over here?
Yeah. Well,
Creepy
I guess first
building.
off, I didn't tell you the story of Big John's. I am so
No.
sorry. You got me distracted with that can. So Big John,
Oh, yeah.
he was named after a football player. Well, he wasn't, but he was a football player. His name is John Kennedy. He played for the 1947 New York Giants. I don't like sports. I had to memorize all this stuff just to tell you guys. Not to mention, I learn something new with every tour. So if something pops up and I don't know what it means, I do dive in. Like that's how I keep going.
Yeah.
But anyway, John used to sit in the back of that bar, and he used to tell the bartender if the cadets that came over from the Citadel, if they were old enough or not to drink. One night, 2 guys came in. They weren't old enough. John cuts them off. They get pissed. They leave. They come back the next night and try to steal the cash register from the front of the bar. Now, a couple of words were said, some tossling around, shots were fired. The bullet hole from those shots is still in the building. Now, it is not any kind of killing or any kind of ghost that haunts the place.
Yeah.
It's that bullet hole that holds the paranormal activity of John's memory. So, normally when people say
He's really connected to that memory.
well, it's his old bar.
Yeah.
So they say if you sit in the front of the bar, you are circumstanced to get sick, like dizzy, not queasy, not feeling well, headaches, those kind of things. I usually tell that story on purpose because I don't know how paranormal activity is going to affect anybody on my tour.
Right.
So if you guys start to feel those things, I need to know. It's
Okay.
one reason why I start here in the middle of this odd neighborhood.
Yeah.
So again, it's just one of those stories that I've had people drop.
Really?
Oh yeah, too much activity, especially those psychics and mediums that are a little too sensitive.
Yeah.
There's some places I take y'all that's really, really sensitive.
I'm intuitive.
So we're gonna find out.
Well, you would be since you're my daughter.
No, let's head this way. I'll show you guys what's going on here. So this is the red barn lot where they keep the horses for the carriage rides.
Right.
Okay, so the horses are still inside.
Horses.
We don't have any lasers, so I'm not super worried about that. So this is also the same red barn lot where they kept the horses that delivered milk to Charleston. So, talking 1860s and 1920s, that kind of dates it for you. Like I don't have an exact date of how old this building is. Normally when I have a group of 10, this is where I bring them to kind of practice with their tools. I give you a little bit more insight on how to use them. We're going to start with the spirit box, only because you watch your ghost hunting shows and they start with the why did you kill, and they go off on crazy tangents. Stupid Zach Bagans makes everything look dramatic. Now, the real world.
Take off my mask.
Yep, go for it. I'm perfectly comfortable. Yeah, I don't want you overheating. Putting you to work, can't you see? So, with this particular place, I usually start people off with very simple questions that are non-yes or no questions. So, if you watch your shows, you're going to start watching like and how many mistakes they make and why they don't get relevant evidence. At the end of the show, you're like, what the hell did they actually find? They didn't have anything.
But it's all staged.
Yeah.
Most of it.
Yeah.
Most of it. So I usually start people off with, the barn is red, right? So what color is the barn? First off, it's a non-yes or no question. If you say, is somebody
Specific.
here, and they say houses, you think you heard yes.
Yeah.
S and O are two of the most common sounds in a phonetic language. So as an English guy, I know these things. So at the same token, what color is the barn? If you don't get an answer after 30 seconds of listening to all that radio chatter coming through, then you ask it again. Give them time to muster it up. It could come through, I got the word hi. It'll come through in either the audio, your spirit box, my 2 spirit boxes, or this audio that keeps falling down. So it has 4 places to go. So it's not that you didn't get the answer, it's just we don't know if it went anywhere yet. That's why the morning data is so important. After 3 or 4 tries, say 2 minutes of asking what color is the barn, you're like, okay, if we have EMF activity, then more than likely there's somebody hanging out with us. I don't get excited about one device going off, hence why I use 10 at a time, normally. Ask a different question. All right, you don't want to answer you don't want to tell me what color the barn is? Tell me what's inside the barn.
Horses.
Horses. Or we'll get the word draft. That comes up often here. Draft horses.
Draft horses.
Draft horses.
Draft horses.
What's that
That's
A draft horse is a big, heavy horse that pulls things.
like carriages. Or milk. So I've gotten the word delivery here before. I also get the teammates from Big John. You gotta remember, we're only 1 block away.
That's true.
I've gotten, I had
They
to
could
learn
come
who
over here
Tom
and
Landry
smoke or
was.
something.
Yeah,
You had to learn who
Rumble.
Tom Landry is?
yeah.
I don't know who Tom Landry is.
He
Sorry.
he played with John Kennedy.
I'm an old person who knows football.
And he was also the coach for the Cowboys.
Yeah.
I didn't know that when the name Tom came up twice, and then the
Yeah.
word cowboy. So I'm like, I always go through, because I have the roster of all John's teammates
Yeah.
from 1947 to 52, and I go through them all, and I know that they're his teammates because I get names like Skip and Chet
Yeah.
and weird things that don't make any sense at the time until I Google that shit and find out, oh, damn football gets me every time. So that's how we're going to use that. What was your question?
New York Giants?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then with this guy, the camera itself is not up to our cell phone technology. It's really the thermal imaging technology that's there. So just to kind of give you a gist, and I normally have like the infrared thermometers out too. So in the event we need to debunk anything, I have plenty of different types of thermometers between surface and ambient. So if we capture something, we'll be able to determine what it actually is.
Okay.
So whereas a lot of we're not going to spend a whole lot of time here.
Right.
We're going to go to the next spot. But I do want you to do a quick 360 in here, just so you can see how it fluctuates between brick and asphalt and
Right here?
Metal.
yeah, just do it. You're going to turn it all the way around. So if you move too fast with that, it will pixelate. Again, it's not really up to our speed of technology in this camera sense, and it also doesn't see in 3D. So that's why you see some white lines on here. Just trying to find what the objects are so that you can see better depth perception.
Car.
So usually when I have the infrared gun out and the ambient thermometer, that goes to the person accompanying this person. So that way they can kind of go through and red laser everything and get the base temperature.
Are you looking at me?
Mom's haunted.
I'm
A
hot.
mom's clothes should be a little cooler than her skin.
Yeah.
So kind of keep that in mind too. That helps
Do I
us
have a fever?
determine.
You can tell it whether I have COVID.
Yeah, I used to, when we got back to work, I would use that to check everybody's temperature.
Oh, great. Don't. Are you looking in my eyes? I have fake eyes.
Fake eyes,
You're good.
really?
I have lenses.
Oh,
It's not fake eyes.
Oh, you should. I can see
So
them.
dramatic.
Look at it in the mirror.
let's go learn some actual history.
Okay.
I never have seen those lenses before.
That's fine.
So I usually have laser grids out too, which could get Nick in a lot of trouble. So I usually give them to an adult. Because coming from here, like I can shoot through the market and you can see the grid that far.
You better go. Oh, the helicopters are going over.
Right.
They
Well, the
just-
night when they have the helicopters out, we don't do experiments like I like to.
Yeah.
We keep them on the ground.
And they got some guy just doing.
What the hell was that?
I don't know.
They hit that.
Somebody having a fight.
No, they hit the.
They hit something?
They hit the curb.
Did they hit a person?
They hit the curb, and then she made a noise because it scared her. Because their windows are down.
Well, my car is right there. I'm waiting for them to leave.
Ooh.
Oh, she got a flat tire.
She got a flat tire.
Did you hear it?
Yeah.
She busted it when she hit the curb.
Maybe I got it on camera.
Top thing's gonna lose that. You can't see me.
Which one's your car?
Little silver guy right there.
Oh, I didn't get that far,
Yeah.
thankfully.
Yeah.
Well, a couple nights ago out here,
I think she got the curb.
Saturday night, some guy smoking weed sitting on my hood.
No.
And had his beer out there. Like,
No.
You know, my car?
No joke. Rude. Someone almost hit us right here when we were crossing the street.
We almost got.
They didn't even see us, and they just like came barreling at us.
Where are you going?
I was gonna go
I'm
look
taking
and
you
see
to
if
another
she
dirty
was.
parking lot.
Yay!
Ah.
So, let me tell you what's going on
Oh,
in
there's
here.
something glowing over there.
It's probably a can again.
And.
Another fan. So this is home to Eliza and Charles Pinkney. Now,
Ah.
this guy's usually pretty active in here.
Mm-hmm.
And I want you to also take note that the light blinking over there, a lot of times this is in sync with what that light is doing.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
You see the light on the back of that brick building over there?
Yeah. Oh, I see that one. Yeah.
This we usually pulse first, and then it'll go out there.
I see it. Huh.
So, goes a little nuts in here. So, it's a lot of EMF going on in here, and no reason for it, because there's nothing underneath us.
This used to be a house.
Yeah.
Just
The lot?
Their home would have been in the front. So Eliza's garden would have been lined here with this tree, and then the slave homes would have been in the back.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if I were to have a grand finale, this would be it, because a lot of shit actually happens here. That little picture I showed you with the two ghosts coming by.
Yeah, it
was
looks
up in
like
that corner.
this right here, right?
Right, it was in that corner right up there.
This corner?
Yep. The baked beans breakfast also happened here.
Hmm.
So, let me tell you what the story is. And I always give you a quick little gist so you know what you're listening for on your spirit box.
Stay in one place. Okay.
So Eliza and Charles had a son named Charles, and they had a nephew named Charles. So there's 3 Charleses. I always get them mixed up when I'm Googling them to see who's who. But the son and the nephew were signers of our Constitution. The son was obviously raised here, so that's really big for Charleston. Eliza married Charles at a young age. Her dad was sick overseas, thought he was dying. He wanted all his kids home. She didn't want to go, so she got hitched. So she became a citizen and stayed here, talking 1700s. Big age gap between her and Charles. Dad gets better. He starts sending presents over from England. One of those gifts happened to be the plant indigo. Now, you guys been driving around, you've seen the word indigo all over the place. It actually started as a profitable crop right here. Now I say started as a profitable crop because indigo actually has a very deep history with our gullet culture here. So a lot of the slaves brought over that, I don't even know what, like skill on how to keep it crops, because I mean our ground isn't always ready for huge crops like that. But they were able to help cultivate and help Eliza get it to become a huge cash crop after our rice plantations went downhill. So Charleston was almost another dead city until she saved it. She was also the businesswoman that sold it overseas. And I told you. Well, not only that, but with the talking 1700s. There's no such thing as a businesswoman. It was never a thing. So that's a huge deal. A couple weird things about Eliza. She was the second wife named Eliza from Charles, back to back. So I always tell people
you cannot do ancestry when you got that.
No, you can't.
It's so.
She goes by her maiden name.
Oh,
so
okay.
it's Eliza blank Pinkney. So I always tell people, let's try to find out what her maiden name is. I don't give the answers kind of like the simple stuff over there, the red barn and the horses.
Right.
We're trying to find those answers. So I'm not going to tell you until after we leave here.
She's English?
She is English.
Okay, we'll figure it out.
Without Google.
Right.
So the first wife also has the same problem. She goes by Eliza blank Pinkney. So if either one of them comes up, I didn't know this just until a couple of weeks ago when it came up when I was doing some research on another piece of material that came out. They had 4 kids, only one was a daughter. So I always say, let's try to find out what the daughter's name is. We can ask anything about her death. How old she was, where she's buried, what she died from, yada yada yada. Anything we want about her death, she'll usually come through, and we're gonna go straight to her. Of, hey, Eliza, tell us this. We are getting some EMF activity here, so we might as well go ahead and turn up your spirit box now, and let's see what we actually capture. All the while you are getting us, you can stand in a circle and just kind of go slowly back and forth. So Eliza, if you're actually here, I want you to tell us when your birthday is. Sorry, I go off the cuff a little bit. Don't turn it up, just a hair. Eliza, tell us when your birthday is. Eliza, one more time. Can you tell us when your birthday is? Her direction. Oh, look at that. We got a football term. That was at 9:54. It was 4 minutes ago.
4 minutes ago. What term is it? I say
Quarterback.
car. And then right after that is that free?
That's fire.
Oh, fire.
That would be what happened to the mansion.
Here.
Here.
Right.
There. Second floor. Very corner.
Got it. Where I'm pointing at.
Pretty much.
Right. So what happened with the fire?
The house caught fire.
And anybody die, or?
No.
That's good.
But I do usually ask, tell us what happened to your mansion. It would have been after Eliza's death.
Okay.
So
Okay.
But she probably was hanging around the mansion anyways.
I'm sure she was. All right, Eliza, can you tell us what month you died in instead of your birthday? up to where the fire occurred. It's usually a hot spot. That thing's going berserk. That thing's going nuts.
Sweet.
I heard horses. They did have a carriage house over on that side.
Oh yeah. That's crazy.
Eliza. Let's move on to how many kids did you have? How many children?
How many children? You hear the football fan?
No, it wasn't.
Here. Prayer? Good hallelujah song.
What caused the fire?
What caused the fire?
It's the Great Fire of 1861. It went through the whole neighborhood.
But I don't know that.
It's true, but this is convinced. So let's turn yours down a minute and try this one. Eliza, I want you to tell us how you died. Eliza, how did you die? I heard history.
Please?
How do you say?
Something by now. Eliza,
She says you should know by now.
that EMF is going berserk.
Yeah.
I know the answer. I'm waiting for it. Eliza, I need you to tell us how you died. What it means. You're gonna get this recording back in MP3 format, so you can rewind it like little bits at a time. Because a lot of times when I'm on my own, because this is one of the places where I send people out, I go explore, ask all these questions, and I'm up here in a corner, and I say rewind by 5 seconds whenever I hear something. So I say what I thought I heard, what it means, rewind by 5 seconds.
Okay.
That kind of thing.
Okay.
But that's just so that when I have a large group that's not all with me, they have different points of audio, because that person's out walking around, this is recording of wherever that person is, I'm up here in the corner. Like, they're literally trying to put all the clues together. Eliza, at least tell me how many people I brought with me. Not 5, try again. How many people are with me?
Probably be her and another one.
I really think it's 5. Are there 2 people in this car?
I don't know.
I think we got another car.
I don't know. It was weird though. I heard it too.
Sounds like he's gonna drop it.
See?
No. Think about it. Rewind by 5 seconds. 3. They counted me.
3. Where'd 3 come up?
Nice.
So the names of all the apps and the tools are at the top of your data page. There's free versions of all of these apps that I use. I use obviously the paid versions just to get the bigger vocabulary. With this particular app, it has over 9,000 words. The free version has 3,000 words.
Oh, wow.
So I wanted the ads out of there, and I wanted to be able to move freely with it so I could keep checking the list in case I missed anything. All right, Eliza, let's go through one more question. Tell me what month Charles was born. Come closer. Where? My thing's not blinking anymore. That's why they call it ghost hunting. Charles, what month were you born? All right, Eliza, I'm going to move on. Can you say good night or goodbye? Eliza, say good night or goodbye for us. Outlet. Eliza, we're going to move on. Something from this house. Come on, Eliza. Can you say goodnight?
Outlet. Says get out. Oh, great.
Twist. That one came up on my last tour, too. It's interesting. I keep hearing moving out, moving out. Heard it like 3 times. So, alright. Well, we're going to go up to Lodge Alley. It's about 4 blocks from here. If the restaurants are still outside, which I doubt they are, it's after 10 o'clock, we'll mask up. But for the most part, I mean, we're just 3 friends ghost hunting at that point. So as long as we're within the
I'm
same...
drinking water.
Yep, I'll be smoking.
Filming. I'm doing my job.
Yep. So, we'll wait to see if any names pop up. Normally when I have a group of 10, I tell my Spirit Box people to go ahead and listen to theirs, just to listen for names and explain when we get there. But we'll probably be chatting, so we don't want to be blaring that thing all over here. When you go down these steps, just be careful. It's 1 step up, 3 down.
1 up, 3 down.
Really? Is that how far down you guys were?
No, we haven't been that far. Maybe tomorrow.
So this app, blue one, that I'm using on my screen, that's a great app to have, like just running when you guys are going to visit all these places down here, because you never know it's going to show up. Just keep emailing the list to yourself, so that way you know which place it's from. That's how I do. Like I'll do 2 or 3 investigations in one day, because I'll go visit different museums, and I just have this running. When I'm done, I email it to myself and I label it. Like, hey, this was at the exchange. This one was at so forth. And, you know what I mean?
Definitely.
It's really cool to do.
Oh, sorry.
So I seen a tour guide out earlier tonight. 1 person.
No.
Oh, that's intimate.
He was a guy and she was a girl, so
Yeah.
it's kind of like that's. I normally don't allow just 1 person.
Oh, yeah.
So,
How you doing?
But you wasn't like it.
well, it's not that. It's safety reasons for both of us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's easier to
Yeah.
jump 2 people.
3, 2, 1.
I need some of that water.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Like if I get a phone call from one of the military guys from the base over
Yeah.
through the street, and he says, "Hey, I'm in town, but it won't let me book my ticket." I'm like, "Well, how many of you are there?" He says, "It's just me." I'm like, "You're calling me from the base?" And he said, "Yeah." So I'll take that,
Yeah.
but just because half the time those guys they're mixed with a bunch of guys they don't know,
Yeah.
so I understand.
Plus, he's military, so he can protect himself and you. He's got training.
Right, exactly.
Hopefully.
And that's really the only time I'll take a single person.
Yeah.
Any other time, it's a no.
Here comes
Yeah.
in 3-2.
I gotta think about it.
Another foul by Bellin.
Well, my system, like to book the tickets, isn't set up that way. It doesn't
Yeah.
allow just 1 person to book.
Smart.
So we had some trouble because I'm on every platform, and some of them allow them to like buy odd numbered tickets.
Yeah.
Then I had to change that because they could buy just 1, and then they couldn't figure out how to put it in. I don't think I've ever seen that word come up before either.
What was it?
Ceiling?
Ceiling. Interesting. Certainly some ceilings around here.
It's so weird.
So what is a lodging alley? Is that what
Lodge.
Lodge?
Yeah.
Lodge. What is that?
Lodge. So, maybe.
What comes up sometimes?
I would say that that's a 90% yes.
Huh.
And there are times where I have things that go home with me that shouldn't be going home with me.
Yeah.
I got my little satchels of stones all over my bag now because the wife was getting worried. So
Yeah.
Dang, I left my pistol.
It's okay. I'm good. I got us. We got tourmaline, rose quartz, hematite. I got a bunch of, and they've all bathed in the new moonlight that we just had a few nights ago.
Oh, that's awesome.
So,
Cleaned them.
in salt water from the ocean.
Oh, cool.
Go down to the beach, grab some salt water, bring it home, throw the stones in there, put it out on the porch for a day.
Wow. Never done that one.
Well, gotta have it blessed and sealed.
Yeah, in Sedona, go up on the mountain and you'll find just crystals spread out all over the rocks for people in the crystals.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
Right down here.
I right here.
Right here.
Yay. Well, this does look like New Orleans.
We don't have many
It's like Pirates
that
Alley.
look like this. This actually gives me a lot of weird shadowy when I have somebody taking pictures on the tour. I get a lot of green orbs down here. This also used to be where people lived. So these two buildings on the side of us weren't here in 1790. So there was literally shotgun houses in here.
Oh, okay.
So it wasn't much.
Right. I'm gonna have to carry something so I can do something other than just this.
You don't really need your mask. Put it in your pocket.
And you guys got it. I always get green orbs down here. They're always green. And I can't figure out where the hell it's coming from.
So yeah, they like you, Rachel. Walk backwards.
So be mindful, that light's going to give off a lot of light orbs too.
I'll see. It was black, dark, and jet.
I was just wondering, like in New Orleans, their little alleyway like this with the bricks. This was like the sewage way.
Yeah.
Is that what this was?
Mm-hmm.
Sweet.
Yeah, there's a sewer right there. It's also done this way because you'll notice too, like it kind of caves in a little bit.
Yeah.
At the center.
So
It's a water center.
yeah.
But the people that lived here, I had the full list of residents of every person that's ever lived here.
Oh.
So the names Benjamin and John usually show up while I'm in here.
Mhm.
I get them anywhere between 2 to 5 times a month, and they both lived here in 1801. They were 2 out of the 4 residents from 1801.
Maybe they were friends.
Maybe.
They hung out on their
Brothers.
stoops together.
This is Lodge Alley Hotel, this yellow building.
Mm-hmm.
None of them give me free rooms in Charleston to verify their ghosts. So they
Okay.
all have their alleged ghosts. So
But
they
they
start
won't
giving
let-
me free rooms. They can,
They can
Have you
just-
ever had someone before staying there and let you into their room?
no, but I did have somebody that used to work there. They were the head salesman. But now they work down in Savannah for their blue green down there.
Cool.
Kind of fun, you know?
It's an apple. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. There's a person sitting on the ground over there. Holy shit. Let me look at that picture. Look down there. See on the bottom right corner?
You can't see. Let me see.
The end of the alley on the bottom right hand side.
There's a dark spot on my
There's
camera.
a dark spot there.
There's a dark spot on my camera right there, right now.
Oh, nothing there.
I can. You can show me the pictures.
I don't know.
Oh, this shadow right here.
Uh-huh.
That's crazy. Maybe we should go over there.
I don't know. I just gotta. Lucy's been up my day.
Was your name John or Benjamin?
No, I
So
don't.
see, like, I have some of the same. This is an Android phone.
I'm not.
So I have a little bit of the same going on there.
I hadn't felt like I had been here before. Not like some other places. But then I didn't live here in the town.
So I guess you get photos to use for marketing.
I was an indigenous person.
I'm gonna find out what this spot is because it's not going away. I eventually get to the end and it's gonna be
Part
some.
of the way this brick, this stucco is. I hate to debunk it before you
You
bring
know,
it back.
I think I know what it is. It's that car.
Oh, you think it's the car?
Yeah, because the cars have been very cold in here.
Yeah, because they've
on
been
the-
parked for a while.
Yeah. So I believe that's what I have.
But the main Masons used to meet down here too.
Really?
So, but
Heard
It's
a
our
baby
baby.
cry. Heard a baby cry.
I did too. This is the neighborhood, so we kind of have to keep it down for people.
You miss your ghost, Mom?
It scared the shit out
Sure. Mm-hmm. Are we going in there?
I tell the story out here because it's. You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Because it is a pretty popular ghost story area where most of the other tours go. That alley it's absolutely gorgeous, and we'll stop for pictures along the way. But this used to be called Dueler's Alley, as in take 20 paces, turn and shoot kind of duels. It's now Philadelphia Alley because when dueling became illegal and dumb, we had to name it after somebody who saved us after one of our fires. So that's why it's Philadelphia now. Now, the story that everybody tells down here, only we have the proof, like the evidence to gather it, is that of Dr. Joseph Brown Ladd. And he moved down here from Rhode Island. And I usually tell people to kind of keep the initials of that state in mind, RI, because it shows up again later. So he was supposed to get married to his fiancée Amanda. And Amanda just inherited a bunch of money from her dead parents. The lawyer handling that money said, no, you're not getting married yet. Send the doctor away. He thinks he's just after her money. So he comes down here to Charleston. The coachman that set him up, or that brought him into town, set him up to be robbed and killed. Not a very good start. Somebody walking by, named Ralph Isaacs, initials RI, says, you don't want to stay here, let me take you somewhere else. So he takes him over to 59 Church Street, which is on the same street of that big steeple that you see. It's about a mile that way.
Okay.
Mile and a half total. So the two become friends, and the doctor's practice takes off. He starts his practice, he's making lots of money, he's doing pretty well. Amanda's going to be moving down soon, and he becomes known as the Whistling Doctor. So if you type in Charleston Whistling Doctor, this is the story you get. But at any rate, they used to go, him and Rolf used to go see plays together. But because the doctor was in a different part of society, they had to sit in different seats. So it's kind of like the two of you going to see a movie, but you make more money than she does, so you get better seats. So at any rate, they talked about the plays on the way home, and they go see Richard III one night, and the doctor loves the new actors in town. He's raving about it. Rolf doesn't think much of it at all. They start arguing. Then it turns into an argument, or an insult party, on the doctor's fiancée back home. So the doctor obviously gets pretty mad, Rolf gets pretty mad, they go their separate ways, and they think their friendship's pretty much over. Rolf is from Charleston. He has ties to the newspaper. He puts an ad in the paper of what a disgrace the doctor is to the city of Charleston. He's not from here, he takes all our money, he's too expensive, yada yada. The doctor rebuttals with, let's go to Dueler's Alley, we're going to settle this. Now, the loser of a duel is normally what? Dead, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a doorway over here to the right where the loser would go through the doorway up to the courtyard and then over to St. Philip's Cemetery. They drop the body in a pre-dug grave. Then they go celebrate the winner. Yeah.
That's
Also,
what
keep in mind that most duels ended with gunshots to the ground. So, because it was more a matter of bravery and courage that you're willing to get shot over whatever you're fighting over. So,
But you're pointing at the ground.
right. You're pointing at the ground, and nobody dies. It was a matter of the courage that you did. So here's what happened with their duel. They take their 20 paces. They turn. The doctor puts his gun in the air, and he shoots. He didn't want to kill his friend. He just wanted to make the point. Kind of the courage thing I just said. But Ralph took 2 shots on the doctor below the knees, and he drops. Instead of taking him to the courtyard, they take him home. 59 Church Street. He dies 10 days later.
Oh.
Now, what's the story? The moral of the story? Don't get engaged to somebody named Amanda. No. They say as you walk through here, you can hear the whistles from the doctor. We have the audio to prove that. We're going to keep the spirit box pretty low. It's just the 3 of us, so that way we can get an audio in the background. We do have hecklers that walk by and give us a fake whistle.
Yeah.
There's a fake one for you. Now,
It's
going
got
to be
that kind of whistle.
it's going to be faint. Yeah, it's going to be real faint. It's probably going to be in a little bit of a melody.
Yeah.
I have 2 that I have caught in the past, in the year and a half I've been given this tour, that I could not debunk as a heckler walking by. So, what's the chances of you guys getting a whistle? It's probably less than 1%, based on the statistics that I have. Now,
That's fair.
they also say you can hear the gunshots. I have yet to hear a gunshot on any of the audio. But with that being said, my 4th of July teams usually want me to try to find it. I'm like, no, not going to happen.
I think
What happened?
I don't think I did anything. I think I just made it bigger.
No, you're fine. I'm just going to get rid of this.
Is it this? Okay.
There you go.
Okay.
This one. Yeah, you're still recording. It's good. So the bricks in this place, the wall on the right side, the far wall over there, is original. But the bricks we're going to walk on, they're actually going to get older as we walk on them. These over here were replaced and repaired in the 1990s, so they're going to be pretty smooth, sharp edges, those kind of things. But down at the end, we actually have sun-dried bricks from slave kids. We have their fingerprint swipes, and I'll point them out to you. And we also have one full handprint at the end. That's a little nugget of history that I figure I'd throw in there. It's not a proud part of our history, but it does show how far we've come. Now that when you look at the handprint, let's see if I got anything while I was telling that story. No. I don't know who Braden is, but that's not a very old name. But the handprint is the thumb actually overlays into the next brick. If you think about it, that kid had to put the brick in wet and then slam his hand into it. Kind of a screw you, I don't want to do this anymore kind of mentality. So it is interesting if you guys want pictures of it. It is outside somebody's home, so we're going to be kind of quick. And again, their address is Philadelphia Alley. What do you see these houses? They're absolutely gorgeous. But we'll go check out the death gate real quick in case you guys want to grab pictures of that.
Sure.
We got a little bit of time to kill with you guys. It's only the 2 of us.
I know.
So, and great, let me close the gate so you get that nice creepy sound effect.
Yay. Love it.
So, going down the steps and head to the right.
Where are you going?
It said hold it there.
Hold it.
It says stories.
We do tell stories here.
And they also said it was fake.
Interference.
Can you move? Holy They're not real happy. They're not very happy right now.
Oh, well, I mean, I wonder how many people actually died. I mean, good sportsmanship was not shooting the other person.
Right.
They used to die all the time.
But I mean, I'm sure some people did. Hope that you're in.
So this is the gate that took them through. We're actually going to walk down this way. So a few weeks ago, I had a small group. It was supposed to rain that night, so there was only like 4 people. And Tuesdays are weird. I'm either completely full or I have a group of two. It's weird. But I'm at the end, and I'm a little ahead of them because I'm trying to give them good audio. They're listening to the spirit box, and I smell a weird fruit. I'm like, okay, that's really weird and kind of tart. And I was like, I'm not going to say anything because I've had this thing with my smeller before. Let me see what happens. One of the guests walks up behind me, and he says, oh, I smell passion fruit. I'm like, no, pretty sure that's grapefruit. He's like, so you do smell it? I'm like, yeah. It's the weirdest thing ever. Like, we danced around trying to find, it was strong in one spot, then it would go away, and then back and forth that it went. My wife's sending me text. I was like, what is she sending me? But anyway, so then the word pie shows up on this spirit box. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense whatsoever. I go home and Google grapefruit pie. That was a lost recipe on Southern Living's magazine that started in Charleston.
Crazy.
Like, you've got to be shitting me. There's no way that's a real thing.
Must have been all they had.
Nasty.
I know that's.
Gross.
I don't like grapefruit.
Yeah.
That's why it's a lost recipe.
Yeah.
I really need to trim this back a little bit.
Yeah, these houses are crazy.
Sorry, I'm taking extra marketing photos.
Mm-hmm.
My camera works a little better than the digital camera I hand out. My wife, she does all of the photography work and graphic design for Stories in a Cemetery because that's what she went to school for.
Oh, cool.
So like the Stories in a Cemetery logo and all my book covers and all that stuff, like she designs all of that
You
stuff.
say the green
Sweet.
parts?
Down here, they're pretty random, so
Oh,
I'll,
bluish green.
yeah, let me see what you got. That's moving with your phone.
It is, isn't it?
So it's
Yeah, I have
something
one of
your
those on my phone that moves with me.
Well, it's moving with you too.
I have like a little green dot on mine
Yeah.
right there,
Yeah,
but that
it's the
moves
same
with my
as yours.
phone.
Mine went away.
Well,
I turned
well,
it
I
around.
knew that
and
was
it's
my phone.
gone.
Cookie.
Hospital.
Let's-
Doctor.
Hospital.
Take it. I get a lot of words wrapped around medicine, so I get like medicine doctrine shots.
Mhm.
Yeah, he does have.
Arms right there.
No, the people's houses are actually down to the end. There's only two. This is actually part of the parish over here, and as we get further down, we have the Footlight Players Club, which is the actor studio for all of the theaters around here. So we have Dock Street Theater.
Wow.
The cemetery?
The cemetery is on the other side of that wall.
Oh yeah, we were on the other side of that church earlier. It's closed right now.
Now, do you guys know the story of the little sign that's in the
Is
cemetery?
it the only ghost in St. Philip's is
Yeah.
the Holy Spirit?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do you
that's
guys know
fine.
the story of it?
No.
So it's there for a reason. So there was a woman who died in 1888, 10 days after her stillborn child.
Hmm.
Her name was Sue Howard Hardy. So 1989, 101 years later, we have a photographer in town, and he's taking pictures. Actually, he wasn't in town; he was a local. I found out, and he was taking photographs in between all the bars of all our cemeteries because Unitarian Church is not too far. And he actually gets a picture of a full apparition of a woman
Wow.
with a baby basket next to her, and she's wearing a shawl. And
That's
we're
crazy.
talking 1989. We didn't have cell phone craziness yet in Photoshop. He sends it to Kodak. Kodak.
It was
can't
film?
Yeah, he couldn't. Kodak.
Oh yeah,
couldn't
because
debunk
there's
it.
no cameras. And,
Right.
Okay,
So it wasn't, a digital photo. It was a literal
yeah.
photo, and they couldn't debunk it either.
Hmm.
So I don't show the pictures because a woman who holds the pictures starts to not feel well. A pregnant woman.
I took a photo on my camera of between those bars earlier.
Yeah.
I also, that's a great place for us to play with lasers. So, if we weren't running a little bit late for me to get off the streets, and I could say, okay, it's just the three of us, let's go hang
Yeah.
out for a full 2 hours. We'll take you up there and shoot the lasers in there, but then the cops would come.
Yeah.
But we're getting, because it's one, we're getting late. But yeah, that's the reason why that sign is there, because they don't want guys like me going hunting around for more ghosts. But a pregnant woman that holds that picture
Yeah.
will not have a good pregnancy.
Yeah.
It's cursed. So, like, I don't show it. It's on
Yeah.
your audio now if you want to look it up on your computers, but I'm not giving you that picture.
I'm a little
Whenever I used to
superstitious,
tell
so
that
maybe
story, when I say Susan Howard Hardy, the name Sue will pop up, almost as if she's correcting me. My name's not Susan, it's Sue.
Sue.
not. Oh wow.
Yes, this is what here for you.
I wonder if any of these houses are haunted.
You start to see the fingerprints right here. They're going to be all the way up with the handprints at the very end.
Because they were hand put in there by slaves?
Yep.
Oof. Oof.
All of these bricks, all the way down, were put in by slaves. But those up there were taken out in repairs to show them.
What's the street at the end?
This is Queen.
This right here?
This is Queen Street.
There's a good print.
Like somebody thought that was actually somebody pointed that on the last one too.
Really? That's a really good one.
Looks like a foot.
Oops. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Here.
Okay.
Yep.
See how the thumbprint goes over.
Oh, that's a real handprint, isn't it? It's this direction. Let's see if I can get one. Show Tamika.
It's just a smidge bigger than mine.
Okay.
Last building, I'm sorry, smoke's going in your face.
That smells good.
We're actually,
Yeah.
it's actually, I just got a new flavor this morning. So
What is that?
blueberry limeade.
Oh my gosh. Very nice.
Yeah. I always smoke the fruits.
I always get cinnamon when I get vapes. I love the cinnamon
I
ones.
did
Like cinnamon
too,
roll.
and then you'll stop tasting things. I started
really?
off on cinnamon, and then
Yeah.
it got to a point where I couldn't taste food, like real literal food.
I wonder what it is about cinnamon.
I don't know, but they used to sell straight cinnamon flavor,
Yeah.
not cinnamon roll and cinnamon bun and all that stuff.
Cinnamon did it?
Cinnamon, straight cinnamon. But it actually got me off cigarettes, 2 packs a day.
Cinnamon's strong.
That sounds good.
So this building over here, the big brick building behind you, that's the building we're going to be talking about next. That is the Wagner building. It used to be part of our cotton industry.
Hmm.
So it was a cotton warehouse in the back, and then the offices for that warehouse were in the front. It's condos now, and a wedding reception area in the front.
Creepy weddings and
Yep.
creepy condos.
Well, the condos are fine. It's the wedding reception area because it also used to be a brewery that was haunted, and they left town because it was haunted. Taps would turn on by themselves, cold spots, furniture move in, like all kinds of stuff. So here's
Would that be the warehouse or the workers area?
the
Or
front offices.
the office
I'm going to tell you why it's haunted.
Okay.
So George Poirier is the last person who owned it as a cotton warehouse. He inherited the business from his dad. He didn't know anything about running a business. Silver spoon kid, clueless.
Mm-hmm.
So he gets himself into a bunch of debt, and he blows through his inheritance pretty quickly. We also had the boll weevil in town.
The what?
The boll weevil. It's a bug that eats cotton.
Come
Oh,
on, you
no.
go to Enterprise.
So his cotton crops are shit. They're garbage. And he's got a bunch of American debt. So what's he do? He sells to the British. So Peninsula was much skinnier back then.
Mm-hmm.
And Vendu and Pineapple Park and all that mess wasn't there. So
Right.
he was able to see the British ship roll in. He's watching from the second story floor. Now your online stories will tell you third story. All of my data says second.
Mm-hmm.
And this is in the front. We're looking at the back.
Right.
So they load up the ship, horse and buggy, from back here, those really cool garage doors that you see now. Those were original. So they load up the buggy, load up the ship, he's watching everything. All the cotton goes to one ship. Somebody got too close to that cotton with a pipe. The whole ship catches fire and everybody dies.
In the bay?
Yeah. George watches the whole thing.
Ooh.
So he's already depressed because his dad's gone. He doesn't have enough money to pay off his American debts, and now his father's legacy's gone.
Yeah.
So what's he do? Piles up all the furniture, captain's chair on top, swings a noose from the rafters, and hangs himself. How you doing?
Good.
Yeah. So not a very good ending to our tour,
What a bad day.
right? It is the newspaper kid that found him the next day. Came down and saw his papes and saw the swinging corpse, blah, blah, blah. So, they say you can see the shadow of a swinging corpse from the window that he hung himself from. Our thermal camera cannot see through glass. So what we're looking for here is you're going to take a quick video once we get up to the very front of this, and we're going to see if any of those blue windows turn a darker blue or black, which means something is influencing it from the other side.
Okay.
So, you're also going to listen to your spirit box along the way there, but I do get another ghost that likes to tag along with this building because she lived on this street. So 2 blocks of where we came out of Philly Alley is a restaurant called Puigan's Porch. Puigan's Porch, Zoe St. Amand, that used to be her home. She lived there with her sister Elizabeth. So again, I'm giving you clues of things you might hear along the way.
Right.
Now, Zoe died in the house from falling down the stairs, and she was a school teacher. So again, you ask Zoe what her house looks like now, she'll give you the word yellow because that's what color it is. You'll hear the word spoon, fork, table, eat, very simple words, 1 and 2 syllables. Zoe has said that it is said you could see her in the mirror of the ladies' restroom. So again, the word mirror will show up from time
They
to
have
time.
breakfast. I can go there for breakfast
There you go.
in the morning.
And
Check
this
it
is
out.
a great app to just open it up and put it in the middle of the table and see what happens. So
Or I could take it into the restroom.
Or you could take it into the restroom.
Ask some questions with spirit box.
There you go.
Well, I don't have a spirit box, but
Well, this is
That
a
one.
great substitution until you can get your own. And of course, I have links to all of the different devices that I use at the top of the data page. So
Gotcha.
we're going to definitely listen to your spirit box along the way. We're going to check out the front of the building and get some film and pretty much call it a night if we see if we can capture anything there. Now, the EMF is probably going to go crazy when we get up there because of the parking meters.
Okay.
So we pretty much ignore it up there because the ley lines for that are underneath the street. Our trees have been dropping things these past couple of weeks because it's turning into fall for us here.
Yeah.
So I've been hearing a lot of things dropping. I was like, did you hear that? I'm like, yeah, it was that seed
It's
dropping.
a leaf.
That's a tree. We're good. That smacks something.
oh, it was me. It was my water bottle.
Oh. That smacks something.
My bad. Which I might talk in a minute.
Good thing is, we hear much on your spirit box, but I'm going to listen to it again in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never know. Because it hasn't been on the whole time. The volume.
on.
The
The
volume.
volume.
Yeah.
What? Is there a school here?
What's that?
Is there a school here?
No, but she was a school teacher.
She just said school.
I just heard the word pet. So,
Lord have mercy.
sorry, I get to know the dogs around here. So Dollars Alley, before it was Dollars Alley, so we had Philadelphia and Jules. Before that was Cow Alley,
Oh, well.
because that's where they kept all the livestock. So the word cow popped up. We're a little late coming out of it, but
Yeah.
and sometimes it takes time to move it up.
Sure. Yeah, they got the tables up.
So go ahead and these 2 windows right here is where it allegedly happened. Some people even say the corner, like the rounded edge, but it's hard to get video of that unless you're across the street.
Yeah.
So yeah, just get us about a minute or 2 of footage over there.
Hold that. I'll put it down.
The radio. I gotta look up to see George Poirier's father. See what his nationality was.
The last name?
Spelled Poirier.
It's Poirier.
Poirier.
Poirier with a P.
Oh,
Seems pretty
Poirier.
French to me.
But I want to say like his father was a different type of descent. I don't remember what. Zoe was French. Her last name was Saint Amand.
Mm-hmm. Could be Poirier, and that's pretty French too.
Could be.
She's not talking to me.
I'm not hearing much either.
She wanted to pet the dog.
I did hear dog. Or pet is what I heard earlier.
Yeah, no, the dog barked.
Again, we never know what I'm going to find in the morning either. Somebody's jamming.
They are.
It's weird, I didn't get any names. I was expecting a name with that quarterback term earlier.
You did. You got Brayton. Tom Brayton. Tom Brayton. What is Tom Brayton?
Tom Brady.
Brady.
Tom Brady.
Okay, there you go. Brady, not Brady.
Let's look at Braden quarterback. Let's see what comes up. This is usually how I get started. Is just
Doesn't look like anyone lives up there.
You don't see
I
nothing?
mean, there's no lights on.
I should have those.
There's a light on.
There's not. Unless they all have blinds, curtains.
Braden Hawkins. He's a player now.
I
That
don't
wouldn't
think
make
they're
any
watching.
sense. He's not dead.
No.
Put in Braden Hawkins Giants.
Excuse me. Play for the Giants.
That's interesting. The Marion Giants. Jaquan Reeves and Braden Burke.
The Marion.
I don't know if that's a college team,
No, I would say that's
but we have everything down here. Francis Marion. We have Marion
second,
Square.
The
We have the Francis Marion Memorial. We have Francis Marion Forest. Like, there's a lot of Francis Marion things here.
there's other leagues.
Maybe they had a rugby team. That's English.
I can dive in and see if this kid's dead. I hope not.
Me too.
It doesn't say, this article doesn't say anything about where.
I guess I'll.
Giants come right up.
Marion High School.
Yeah.
It's a high school team.
They don't know where
Where
it
is
is.
Marion High School? That's the next question.
Indiana.
Indiana?
Yeah.
Nope, there's one down here in Marion, South Carolina.
Ah.
Burke.
Hawkins?
Right here, babe.
Probably nothing. Part of that 80%. It's send me down a rabbit hole that doesn't mean a damn thing. That's why I only spend 2 hours looking into it, because I don't want to be going down rabbit holes for 3 days.
Exactly.
That's up to you guys. Alright, ladies, well, we're gonna call it here, and I'll dive more into this stuff in the morning.
All right.
So go ahead and hit that square for me on your screen.